don't be the best person in the room. You're the best person in the room. Find ways to put yourself in other environments whenever you can. I think the worst thing for an artist is the plateau, because it's just like, I feel like the world just becomes a very stale place when the work, you're not inspired and the work is just doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hey guys, we're here with Kevin Laroy. He's been a great friend and an amazing artist and person for so many years, and we're excited to talk with him. Hi.
Oh, I'm like a
Welcome.
So go ahead, cry.
Oh, God.
Dude, are you excited for the seminar? I know you're nervous, but
Yeah, it's so funny. My little sister gets so mad at me when I talk about being excited about things, because I'm never excited about things for real. I'm just curious, anxious, nervous.
she gets mad at you when you're excited about stuff?
She gets mad when I'm not excited. She's like, are you excited
oh.
about such? I'm like, no, no, I'm not excited about it. She'll get pissed. And then when I tell her what I am excited about, she's like, I don't want to hear it. I don't care. You're not excited about anything.
Man, you're so excited for other people's success too.
Oh, yeah. I get excited
But
for other
like
people.
for your own stuff, it's crazy to think that like you're not as excited for
No, I get
your stuff.
I get an array of other emotions, but excitement is probably at the very bottom of the list. Yeah.
Yeah. You should
Exciting.
be excited.
You said I should be?
Yeah, it's gonna be fun, man.
I'm sure it's gonna be fun. I am ready. Yeah, I'm ready for it.
And you've taught seminars before, right?
Yeah.
In that format.
Yeah, this will be my third, I believe. My third or fourth. I think it's the third though.
Where it's hands on and
Yeah.
2 days and all that.
One thing I will say, I think this is my fourth. Every single time I've done it, it's gotten better. So
Totally.
I am excited about that. About it being better than the last one.
Yeah.
And you did so good at the Winter Symposium too, and you talked about so many other important things besides tattooing, because honestly, tattooing is just an array of things that it's about.
A lot of emotions, a lot of shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a full-blown panic attack on stage, but yeah, I appreciate it.
Nobody could tell. Yeah.
Nobody would know.
I watched the video that you guys posted. It was so good. Like it really made my heart warm. Just I think, and it's funny too seeing Bobby, because at the end, everybody's so ready to go. It's like, Bobby, like you gonna do this right now? Like we're ready to go. But I'm so happy he did, because I feel like it just really showed the energy in that room. You know what I mean? I'm like there was no clip that showed the energy better than that part. It was just like, okay, it was tight. Everybody was super excited to be there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bobby got everybody so fired up too.
Yeah.
Like you can't not be fired up when you hear Bobby talking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what he does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Bobby so much. It's funny because I've only known him like a year, less than a year, but he's become one of my favorite people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was, and I wrote about it in the caption a little bit, but I feel like just the energy that weekend was just like indescribable, really.
Yeah.
You kind of had to be there to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody, I mean, except for y'all two, I think everybody kind of felt like nervous about getting up there. Like I know Taylor was talking about how she felt about getting up there, and honestly, it was funny because she went the first day.
You didn't think I was nervous?
Oh, you probably okay. Let me not say you guys do it so good, but like talking to Taylor that first day and her getting down there, and like I was like watching her up there, I'm like, damn, she's a natural. Like she's so good. I'm like, she's done this a million times. And when she got down, I'm like, she started talking about all the things that she felt, was just like, remember we were talking on the stage, she's like, did I do okay? Like, bro, I'm like, Taylor, what? Like, what are you talking about? Are you trolling me? But then when I got up there and came down, I was like, did I do good? It was like the same shit. I was like, okay, I get it. Like that's not an easy thing to do, is talk in front of a bunch of tattoo artists, especially not being a tattoo artist. I feel like tattoo artists can be mean sometimes, but I think going up there, I feel like it was necessary for me. I think I had to do that. That's why, like, when you ask, I had to say yes, because I feel like just as a human, I feel like I had to challenge myself in that way to speak in front of that many people. But after the fact, I'm super grateful. When I look at all the clips, I'm like, okay, like that was tight. I would do it again in a minute, in a second.
And you stayed afterwards too and talked to people until all hours in the morning.
I feel like that was the best part, man. and people ask, oh, are you going to sell online tickets, or is the seminar going to be online? It's like, well, maybe at some point, but I feel like I feel like a lot of what you're paying for, if not most of it, is just being around other artists
The
and
energy.
networking and just
Yeah.
it's so inspiring too to be around people who like have the same goals as you, have the same perspective on shit.
Yeah, and honestly too, it's like you find yourself living in your own bubble. Like I say this all the time, where it's just like I was in LA for a long time, and I just lived in my own little bubble. You come to work, you give your clients that energy. They talk to you about things that is an everyday thing for you, and you come to a space like this with other tattooers who now, like, and this is the thing, it always blows my mind, where it's just like I feel like very quickly things change, where it's like I'm not the young tattooer anymore, I'm the seasoned tattooer now. And people come to me for advice and shit, and I'm like, wait, what, you want it from me? And and to give people the time that I feel like I once asked for, I mean, I still do ask for from other artists, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's really important to give people that time and give people that knowledge or whatever, especially when they invest in themselves and really, really want it. So I feel like that part, like going to the downstairs to like the lobby and actually talking to people, like I think that was probably just as important as getting up on stage.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I feel like when you're passionate about tattooing and you like what you do, like that part's, it's not even work really. It's just like fun. Like I love talking to other tattooers, and it's blow from your perspective. I mean, for me, it really blows my mind when people are like asking me questions on shit and wanting my opinion on shit. Cause I'm like, dude, I just started doing this shit, I'm still figuring this out, but I love having those conversations
Yeah.
and just, yeah, I don't know. I like talking about it. I like what I do.
Yeah, no, I think it's really important. I'm like, because in my mind I'm like, okay, like I don't know everything, but I'm like you, 10 plus years, 18 plus, whatever. I'm like you've accumulated enough knowledge to give to someone. In your experience, how did you do this? I feel like people really want to know, and that's the part that blows my mind. I'm like, you really want to know? I'm like, sure, I'll tell you. I'm like, it's not that interesting, but sure, but it helps. I feel like all of it helps, you know. And I love that. And I always say this too. It's just like you've been tattooing for how long? 10, 11?
Officially or unofficially?
Doesn't matter. How long have you been tattooing?
Officially 10 years.
Unofficially,
Scratching 5 years before that.
a long
You
time.
were doing a lot of scratching. There's a little bit of scratching, and then
Yeah, I mean, I think we all kind of have
Yeah.
those moments, but I'll say 15 years, with your 15 years, I feel like you can do with it what you please. I feel like a lot of people take the time that they've accumulated, and some people hold it to themselves. Some people give it to the people who are closest to them,
Yeah.
and some people spread it around. And with my time, I want to spread it around. With your time, I like that you like to spread it around, and I think that's really important. So I'm like, that's the thing I feel like I'm most grateful for, is being around people who see things the way that I do in that sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's so important too, and you hit on it a little bit, is I feel like whatever stage you are in your career, just saying yes to things and taking opportunities, because it can be a small opportunity or a big opportunity, but a lot of those can be career changing, career altering, especially at an event like that when you're making so many of those connections. I mean, think about the people that went to that event who like their trajectory of their career has changed forever, even if they didn't learn anything, even if it's just being around people and being inspired,
Yeah.
meeting people. And I feel like a lot of people have so many excuses when it comes, because like sometimes taking those opportunities is hard. If getting up and teaching people is super hard, traveling across the country to do a convention in a environment you're not comfortable with is hard. Doing guest spots is hard, but it's
Going on
it's
TV
so
shows
important.
is hard.
Yeah, but it's so important.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's like you got to pick your hard, right? It's like you either put yourself out there, you try new things, and it can be scary, or you stay stagnant. And it's like you got to choose people who are afraid to do all that and take that leap. I kind of think about that, like which heart are you trying to choose?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think it's important because someone said this to me a long time ago, where it's like, if you don't take your next step, the person behind you can't take theirs. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, oh, okay, because there's someone who could be watching. You know what I'm saying? Who you're now setting the example. Even if it was scary or hard, it's just like set the
Wow.
example and keep moving so that the person behind you can do the same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I love that. I also want to talk about like anybody who may not have known, like, we've known each other for a very long time.
Mhm.
You've always been one of the most genuine, supportive people that I've ever met. Since I was an apprentice, you've been encouraging me and supporting me, and
Yeah.
I've looked up to you for so many years, just not only as a tattooer but as a person.
Oh,
Um, and so you're also like completely self-made. Like you've figured your shit out on your own and got to where you are today. I just want to touch on like how it all started in the beginning for you, what got you in here, and how you also at the same time were so supportive of people around you while you were growing.
yeah. Shit.
I love this story too, and I love the picture that you shared at the symposium. We'll have to post it later or something, but that picture says a lot right there.
Yeah, and honestly, I was like second guessing myself. Should I post this? But I was like, fuck it. And then it was funny because I think uh, Quinn posted something similar too. I was like, okay, it made me feel better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, his trash can setup.
Yeah.
That he tats on top of the trash can.
Yeah, nah, humble beginnings. And it's funny because at first, I feel like you try to hide where you started because you feel like people might judge or whatever. But honestly, I think that's the beauty of it. Even watching you, and I think that's really my connection with you specifically at that point in my career because I feel like I had got like a rebirth, and like watching someone, and I mean I know you were an apprentice at the time, but you were so fucking talented. Like I had honestly, like I went to, I was in all the AP art classes, all this stuff. Like you know talent when you see it. And for you to be in there, I was like, oh, she's in the right place at the right time, and but also too for that not to be your experience, for you not to feel like you're in the right place at the right time. I'm like, that was really where the support came, was just like, oh, you have it. Like whatever it is, you have it, so like stay with it. I've been doing it at that point. I think I've been tattooing for almost 10 years at that point, like maybe like 7, but I started tattooing in 2006, where I had just graduated high school. My mom is a teacher, so naturally she wanted me to go to college and be a graphic designer. That was her plan for me. And I was like, I hate school and I hate computers. So I don't know where you get this from. So,
And you grew up in Dallas, right?
yeah, literally my high school is around the corner from here. Like right around the corner from Valley View. We used to skip school and go to Valley View Mall. It's leveled now, but
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
But yeah, I went to W.T. White High School.
Mm.
And at that school, like I said, I was in AP art and all that stuff my entire high school career. And I knew I wanted to do something in art, didn't know what. In my mind, I was going to be a clothing designer. I was like, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a designer. But of course, when you graduate, shit changes.
Mhm.
And crazy enough, tattoos actually fell in my lap. Like I was drawing and designing for people. They're like, "Oh, I'm gonna go get a tattoo. Can you draw this for me?" And I'm gonna give it to my artist or whatever. I'm like, "Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this." Until the artist that people were going to was like, "Oh, you did this. Like, you should come and work with me. Like, I'll teach you." And I'm like, "All right, shit, fuck it." So yeah, the next day, started tattooing fake skin. Like this was no like traditional apprenticeship. Like literally, he threw me into it. And the first day I came in tattoo fake skin, he's like, "Okay, you're ready. Call somebody in." And literally, I brought somebody in. Like, mind you, we're tattooing out of this man's garage in Carrollton.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Literally, that picture that you saw, that was in his
Yeah.
garage. And I remember I worked with this girl, and that
No,
girl.
no gloves, right?
Okay, so to be clear, when I tattooed her, I had gloves on. And then when I finished the tattoo, I took the gloves off, and he told me, he was like, "Let's take a picture." And I was like, all right. So I picked the machine back up with no gloves, and I like was like, I'll never forget that day. I was like, but I'm glad that he got that photo though.
So not the worst.
Not the worst, close to it.
Yeah.
But
That's so funny. He didn't think to be like, "Oh, put gloves on." for the
no,
picture.
of course not.
Or put gloves on to pick up the dirty ass machine that you just
Yeah,
tattooed with.
yeah, dog. It was real grimy back then. But no. So yeah. I mean that's essentially what happened. He ended up actually going to jail like maybe like 10 months into me working with him. And I remember because I was using all his equipment and stuff, and
And this was out of his garage the whole time.
yeah, the whole time, yeah. He ended up going to going to prison or something like that. And I remember because I was working at Sprint at the time, I ended up quitting Sprint like just right before he went to prison, and I was like, all right, like his wife took all his stuff back, and I was left with nothing. And I'm like, all right, do you keep going or do you go back to work at Sprint? You know. And my friends and I all took up like a collection, and like we bought like some new tattoo stuff, and I just started tattooing. All the people was just like, all right, I do it at my house, whatever. And I did it that way for a really long time until one day I actually, this is when Instagram was popping. I found Nico's page, and I saw that he was doing color portraits. Because
So what was this, like 2008
this
at
is
this
2000.
point?
At this point, this is 2000 like 12. This is like 2012.
Oh, okay. So you were doing like
Fast forward.
garage tats, house tats for a while.
For a long
Yeah.
time, you know, and it's crazy enough because I had a huge clientele here. Then I moved to New York, and I had a huge clientele in New York, and I'll never forget. I was I was on Instagram, and I found Nico Hurtado, and I remember because like as an artist like you, like I would draw color portraits. I would on like Prismacolors, I would be drawing portraits, you know.
Yeah.
And when I saw that someone was doing it on skin, like it blew my fucking mind. I bought all his DVDs. Like I was obsessed with
That's
Nico.
so fucking cool,
Yes, like and I would literally like I bought fake skin. I would literally just sit in my living room watching his DVDs, drinking wine, and fucking trying to do these color portraits. And so
Wow.
that's when I actually came back. I was living in New York at this time. Like I had just moved to New York. So anyways, I came back to Dallas one time, and that's when I met Joby. And Joby was like, "Hey, Cat Tattoo's hiring. You should come and work." And I never really worked at a shop before, and I'm like,
So when you moved to New York, you were also tattooing out of your
out of the
place?
house. Yeah, I was working at Billionaire Boys Club, which is a clothing line or it's Pharrell's clothing line. He had a brick and mortar in Soho. So I was working there and then doing tattoos on the side. Because again, I wanted to be in fashion. And so when I met Joby and he invited me to come to Cat Tattoo in Addison, I was like, shit. It was kind of like the same situation where it's like, I've never worked in a tattoo shop. I'm super scared to go because I'm like, I don't know shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know how to do a proper setup or, you know what I'm saying? So went there and I was like, I'm gonna just figure it out. I was like,
when he came to Cat, like we were all like fawning over his work, being like, man, I just assumed you were just in professional shops for years doing color
what kind of-
portraits.
And it was color portraits at that time? Like, had you started
Oh my
kind of
gosh.
doing some
only
of those?
only on fake skin, and that's the crazy part. That's what I tell you is just like when I think about that, I'm like, that was like my sixth color portrait on skin. I was doing them on fake skin for the longest, but I was like, I want to be like Nico, you know. And I had this one
Man.
client who he just moved back to Dallas like 3 days ago. He has the first 5 color portraits on him. Yeah, I
Wow,
think
we got 5 of them?
yeah,
That's a good friend.
He just let me do them. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm doing for free. And then I think between you and Chase, it was you and Chase who were like,
You got
all
the
right,
Kid
like I'm
Cudi.
seeing what you're doing. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
give me one. He got the Kid Cudi and you got Elvis, but I can't remember who got it first. But yeah, it literally went that fast. And literally, so I got there and I was like looking around, like, how are you doing your setup? Like, and just trying to like copy it.
Yeah. Just kind of blend in.
Wow.
Yeah, trying my best.
Like
Yeah.
you were good immediately at portraits, and I tell people all the time, like, make sure you know how to draw whatever you're tattooing, and I think that's such a great example. Like you've obviously been doing portraits and drawing them forever.
Oh yeah.
So as soon as you started tattooing them, it was almost like second nature.
Oh yeah.
Seems.
Yeah, and that's why I was confused as to why the fuck you weren't doing color portraits straight out the gate. Like, I'm like, Dana, why are you doing this? Like, what the fuck?
'Cause everybody told me it was like scary, and I had to do it a long time before I tried it, and all this like people scared me how to do it. I was like,
So was the fake skin pretty helpful?
It
getting you
was.
started?
I think not in terms of like it being practice, or what am I trying to say? Not in terms of it being like, okay, like this is how the experience is going to be on real skin, but I think just breaking the ice, like not being afraid, because it is scary when you think about it to actually like your first few times it's scary to do. So when you do it on fake skin, I think it's just breaking the ice where it's just like, okay, it's not so scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And especially for a tattooer who already knows how to tattoo, it's just like, okay, now when I do it, it's on skin, I at least know how to approach it, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like people, like I'm not a tattoo artist, but I know
You're not close. Look.
from talking to so many people that fake skin's not like real skin. It is what it is.
But it does give you like an example though
Yeah,
of
yeah.
like what to do.
But I feel like people have like so many complaints about it, but I feel like there are a lot of things that it's really good for, and especially if you haven't been drawing color portraits your whole life, like you can still learn how to make a color portrait because there's so many things like anatomy and color theory that even though like the actual mechanics or just tattooing on skin is going to be different, I feel like there are still a lot of things that you can take away from it that will, if nothing else, like kind of like ease that transition from like paper to skin.
And that's why I really want to do the example of the color portrait on the fake skin that you guys had. Because I'm like, okay, I want it to be, because it's not going to be the same as skin. Like I think we all know that, but at the same time, when you do it and you stand back from it, you're like, oh, okay, like it's because I feel like everybody's thing is like, I don't want to fuck anybody up. You know what I mean? And it's just like, okay, now that you can see, like, okay, you can do it. You know, try it. You have to try it first. You know, and I think most people think it's not want to just try it on another human. You know,
Yeah.
But I don't know how people feel about this. Some people are a little weird about it, but I've found pigskin is a lot closer to the experience on actual skin than like the rubbery,
the silicone.
Yeah.
It's just a lot stinkier.
It does stink, and you can't keep it. You have to throw it away immediately. But
You can't frame it.
yeah, no.
Take it to your booth at tattoo conventions.
You will want to, because I'm like, fuck, this is tight, but yeah, you gotta throw it away.
I remember a glob of fat like falling on my leg while I was doing it in Joby's room, and it was gross.
Yeah, I feel like a science experiment, but
From the beginning, you always want to be like, stop being afraid, and like you were the reason. Like I like pushed myself further, and thank you for doing, because you're really like you're really like the only person, especially during that time, that was like, no, you can. It made me feel like I could do more than what I was doing.
yeah.
So.
And I think that's literally it. It's just like you don't even realize it in the moment. I mean, now I do. You know, giving people like a sense of not a purpose, but you know what I mean, like giving people like a push where it's like you may not see, because I've been there where it's like I don't feel like I can do it, but one thing that I do appreciate that I've always been okay with is not letting fear stop me from doing anything. Like I'm always scared to do everything, you know, but one thing is just like just fucking do it. And I think that just comes from like the way we grew up. My parents, like we moved around a lot. Like I was in a different school every year since like the 5th grade until I graduated. Every single year, like we moved around so much, and like I think that having to like being forced into different environments, uncomfortable environments, so many times as a kid, I think just created this this level of secureness. No matter how scared you are, it's just like you're gonna be okay. Just do it. You know what I mean? Because 9 times out of 10, when you find yourself on the other end, you'll be thankful for it. You'll be grateful for it. You know, so that's one thing I've always been happy about. It's just like, all right, like you'll be scared, but just fucking do it.
And you realize like it's like exposure therapy, I guess. When you do it enough, you realize like, oh, you're fine.
You can keep doing it. Yeah, like fucking a symposium. Yeah, I can keep doing it if I wanted to. And speak in front of people.
You also like I feel like you're so easy to talk to and just become friends with. I guess too, like if you're traveling around to schools all the time and like having to like start over and like make new friends, like
I didn't have friends. I mean, I didn't have friends for real.
really
Ever, really. It was like you're always the new one. That's one thing though. Art. I will say that. It's like that was a huge thing for me. It was just like I'll get into a new school, you go to the lunchroom and you bring out that pen and pad and you just sit there and you just draw, like, you know, and then people will see it. People are like, oh fuck, like you did, like you're, you know, like, and it was like a conversation starter always. Was like drawing, and that became like the safe space. Like I know I can draw if anything else, but I was still quiet. Like I didn't really hang out with people outside of school, but yeah.
wow. So that was like your coping mechanism too, drawing.
Yeah, 100%.
How did you figure out that you like drawing?
Uh,
Or like when did you figure out that you were good at it?
Nah, forever. I think like most people, you come out the womb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're at Cat,
Uh-huh.
figuring out. You figured out how to set up your station eventually. I'm guessing.
They used to make fun of me too. I don't even know this, but Chase, Sonny, all of them, they used to talk so much shit about me. Like, oh,
Chase talking shit. What?
no, exactly. They used to come, like he's not even wearing gloves when he. Oh no, he's wearing gloves when he holds the remote. Like I'll never forget that. I was like, oh shit. Just kidding. But yeah.
So and then talk about your career progression. Like once you got there.
Yeah.
A cat? Oh, I mean, I wasn't a cat that long actually. I was there for like a few months, and then um, I met Zach at a convention that I forced myself to go to.
See,
Yeah.
it's important.
And Zach was like, I had never met him. I heard about him, and Zach was like, "Hey, I'm opening a shop up pretty soon." He was like, "You should come work with me," and I'm like, "Zach Singer, all right." I gave my notice at Cat, packed that shit up, and I was like, and at the time the shop wasn't even open, Perception wasn't even open yet. Him, Danny, Kevin Hicks, yeah, that was it. It was Zach, Danny, Kevin Hicks. They were working out of a like a music studio, and he was like, "The shop's not open yet. You can come work with us right now if you want, but the shop probably won't be open for another like few months." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm cool. I can come work with y'all." And then even that, like, I'll never forget like working with them. I'm like, "Fuck, like they're so good." And I just felt like the weak link, but at the same time, I'm like, "Okay, but this is an uncomfortable situation, but one I can grow from." And yeah, worked at Perception. Um,
Well, I feel like that's important too. Is to like, I feel like you're kind of the sum of the people that you're around. And
yeah,
so I feel like if you can put yourself in an opportunity where everybody is better than you, it's scary as shit. It's intimidating as shit. But
yes,
that's how you grow. You know?
yes. Don't be the best person in the room. Like is if you're the best person in the room, find ways to put yourself in other environments whenever you can. You know what I mean? Because that's one thing is just like I think the worst thing for an artist is the plateau. Because it's just like I feel like the world just becomes a very stale place when the work you're not inspired and the work is just doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's literally what I took from working with them, and I give that to people, or I tell people that all the time. We're just like three artists that really really impacted my career, um, outside of Nico Hurtado, Francisco Sanchez, but Zach Singer, where it's just like he was one person, especially then at that time, where he just was not one to withhold any information. Like you could ask a question and he would have an answer for it, and just in my style, just like trying to blend like bold lines with realism. Like he's just the colors, like he's just blow my mind. Um, and it was just like a really impactful time for me. And people don't know this either, but the only reason why I got cast on Ink Master was because Zach couldn't go. Zach's baby was supposed to be born around the same time
Gotcha.
that they were filming, and so they wanted him. And when he said he couldn't go, they looked around in the shop and they ended up casting me. Yeah, so I'm like, it's just crazy how things just transpire.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. What was the casting process for Ink Master like? Because I feel like it's changed a lot.
Back then, this is 2015,
Because
2016.
what did you get on like season 6?
Season 8. Yeah, I was on
Oh,
8
okay.
with Ryan Ashley.
Oh, okay, okay.
It was actually crazy. It took like 3 months. It was a really long process, but I'll never forget. I was at it's called Agenda. It's like a convention, but for designers, for clothing designers. And I was at this convention in Las Vegas, and I remember finally getting the call. I got the call from, because you talk to casting producers here and there, like they'll call you randomly, and I got a call from one of the producers. We're walking through Agenda, and I answer. I'm like, "Hello." He's like, "Hey Kevin, what's going on?" I'm like, "Nothing. What's up?" He's like, "Well, you're officially cast on Ink Master season 8. Congratulations." I'm like, "Oh my god!" I had to sit down. I sat down. I couldn't move anymore. My friends I was with, I was like, "We have to stop." I can't. I'm gonna be on fucking Ink Master, but yeah, like it was crazy. Like that moment was crazy to me. Like I feel like manifestation is very, very real. And I am a master manifester. Okay. know that I'm saying this to you.
Yes.
But I manifested the fuck out of that. And it's crazy because I always tell people, I'm like, when you really, really want something, you have to embody it. You have to imagine it, not just here, but everywhere. You have to imagine what it feels like to wake up the morning and you're in it. You have to like imagine what it feels like to tell your friends about it or your friends to be proud of you for it. Like you have to embody every single emotion, every single feeling. And like everything that I manifested for that ended up happening, to the point where I feel like in my mind, I was super, I mean, not in my mind, I know I was like on that show, I was super quiet for most of the time, but I think that my story on that show was impactful enough to where people remember it. I'm like, Ink Master's been going on forever, and there's been 1,000 fucking contestants on Ink Master, but people remember it, and I think that's one thing that's really important. It's just like uh, being authentic and just feeling everything and not letting anybody like alter who you are. Because that was literally like the whole point of why I got fucking eliminated. But
You fought for that realism, for that
yeah, I
color
fought for
realism,
that.
the
I
the
fought for
magic
it.
line.
Bro, we should send that video that we did to Chris Nunez.
Which one?
The one of her 10 years
Oh,
ago.
oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Send to him.
Well, I was telling her the reason that it still looks so good is because you put a black outline around the whole thing.
Oh my god, and I still get triggered by that. Like whether people know it or not. Like, don't talk to me too much about outlines. I get triggered.
I do too. I do too.
Well, I remember seeing that clip because I watched a lot of Ink Master, but I don't know if I've ever watched like season 8 to the beginning to the end. And this was like, it's a while ago now. It's like 2015 that you were on the show.
It was, well, I got cast in 2015, but we actually aired or filmed in 2016. We aired in 2016. But you're crazy because we had the most lit season. Look, no offense, but our season was lit.
It really that's when people like conspire together and there was like
we started with 30
groups
people.
and-
We had 30 people in our season. Like we had the first female. First of all, it was like the most female tattooers, the most black tattooers, the most tattooers in any season. Just like in season 8. First female winner. Like we had drama that season. It was crazy.
I'll have to watch it then.
Yeah.
clips that are still coming up till this day.
Yes, yes. No, season 8 was crazy. But it's funny because when you're in it, it's just like all you want to do is get out. People don't realize that like you don't get to leave. Like when you're there, you're in prison almost. Like it's a camp. It's like a tattoo camp, but you can't leave. The people who you are in there with, you can't even walk out the front door if you wanted to. You have to be there for like when we're there for 2 months.
Yep.
And every single day you're filming like all the time. And these people that you are filming with, weirdly enough, it becomes like a fraternity. Like when you see them, like even today, like I saw, or not today, but I mean, I saw Gian recently in Vegas at Bobby's thing.
Yeah.
When I saw him, I was like, oh my, it was like seeing like your little brother again. It was just like, it's like when you go through something like that with people, it's forever.
Trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding at its finest.
Totally.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially back then, like now, like you're in a hotel and everyone has their own room.
Yeah, I heard.
You can be by yourself.
I heard the luxuries.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
Must be nice.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's just so funny seeing that clip from like 2016, which was a long time ago, but like people have been doing realism for a while, and it's like just seeing like it's like one of the biggest stages in tattooing for someone to be like, you need a black outline around your stuff. I'm like,
Yeah, let me tell you, and that's why I was so excited to know that they got new judges. I mean, I think, in all honesty, I mean, I have my friction with the old judges or whatever, but in all honesty, they were good judges. Like I feel like the things that they said sometimes were biased, but they know what they're talking about in most cases. In most cases, but I was really, really happy to know that we have new judges who come from different artistic backgrounds.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Where it's just like, I mean, tattooing is already subjective enough, but I think having perspective is really important. And we're not all coming from like a traditional space. You know what I mean? If you're coming from a traditional space, yeah, you can look at realism and be like, you need some outlines in there. And it's just like, okay, you could have someone like Nico say, no, you don't. It's about values, where you put your darks, where you put your lights, Even Ryan, someone who appreciates detail as opposed to like looking at it as like, oh, you just want to pull some, we don't like a bunch of tricks. Like, yeah, we do like tricks. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Ink Master is in a really good space right now. I think that I would say that's the only thing is just like the luxury of like being able to go home and be in your own space, because I feel like that's what really started a lot of drama. I don't know if y'all see your season was like ours, right? Like
The
y'all were
first
together.
one, yeah, we
Yeah,
were crammed like sardines.
that's where a lot of the drama starts. Is like after you
Uh-huh.
tattoo and going upstairs and having to be with everybody and everybody talking shit that whole
Yeah.
night to wake up in the morning and just like everybody's like on ice, you can't talk, but you know how everybody feels. Like
Yeah.
a lot of drama came from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should do that again. They want more drama.
Look, I'm with it. Look, now I'm seasoned. I can do Ink Master now. I'm like, I got the sauce now.
So Ink Master, and then you've been on Black Ink Crew like a couple seasons, right?
Yeah, a couple seasons of Black Ink New York, and then they ended up giving us our own show in LA. It was Black Ink Compton, and then they gave it to us and changed the name to Black Ink Los Angeles. Yeah.
But that's not really like a competition show.
No,
Kinda
it's
like
very much
document.
lifestyle.
What was it like being on that show?
On Black Ink.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because Black Ink, especially the first one, Black Ink New York, this is literally so. We had the finale. I'll never forget this. We had the finale of Ink Master December 6th, 2016. I was filming Black Ink Crew January 3rd, 2017. Like literally
Wow.
just a couple weeks later. Um, so with that show, in terms of viewership, it was a much bigger show. Like it was an insanely bigger show in terms of just like how many people, like it was up there with like the playoffs, like NBA playoffs. Like we would get like 2 million viewers any given week. It was insane.
Wow.
So like it was very glamorous to like, like they're calling you a car. Like, first of all, they put me up in New York. They got me an apartment in New York. They will call like a car to come pick me up from my house to go to bring me to set. You're on call 24/7. Like it'll be times like you'll be like getting ready to like go out on the town. It's like 10 p.m. And like, because this is a true story. Like I was getting ready to go out and like you get a call from your producer like, hey, we need you to come to set. You know what I mean? Like it's like a 24-hour thing. But also too very toxic. And that was the thing, like I was talking about the symposium where, like I was conflicted where, like the season is going on and like, I mean, you're getting like 10,000 followers every fucking episode that airs. Like 10,000, that's like minimum. Like your shit would just go the fuck off. Don't let the episode be about you. Like it will be crazy. But then at the same time, it's this toxic environment. It's like the producers are literally trying to ruin your life, like, and film it. And so that was kind of the confliction for me, where it's just like, your family and your friends are all like so proud, like, oh my God, my tattooer is on Ink Mask, my brother's on Ink or Black Ink, I'm sorry, on this, and not just like one season, you're a reoccurring character on these shows. But then it got to the point where shit just got too toxic for me, where I'm like, I feel like I was talking about, like, I feel like I am a reflection of what's happening here. When I talk to my family, this is the only thing I have to talk about is this bullshit on this fucking show. To the point where I'm like, I have to quit. I have to quit. And I end up leaving. And thank God, at the same time, that's when I got plugged with MTV, and that's when we did How Far Sat Too Far. Those two situations were like perfectly aligned. Like I couldn't take it anymore. And at the same time, I got cast for that show with Snooki.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What is Snooki like in real life? I love her.
She's cool as fuck. I mean, at the time she was pregnant, so she couldn't do a whole lot, but she's cool as fuck.
So,
That's
and
so
how long did the filming last of Black Ink Crew?
So one season takes 9 months to film. Yes,
So
one
you're on
season.
call that whole time?
You're on call the whole time, and you're in New York. You're in New York, and you're not supposed to leave because you're on call so much. And my life at the time was here,
Yeah.
and so I would literally have to sneak out of town. Like, imagine. So it was crazy because I was filming in New York. I was technically living in New York. I would come here to work, but I had just moved to California when I got cast. So I remember I had an apartment in California. I remember one of my close friends was moving there. I was like, you can just sublease my apartment, whatever. So I had to like get on a flight from New York to LA to move all my shit into storage. And that same night, get on a flight back to New York because if they find out, like it was crazy. They would like withhold your checks and shit. Like
God
it was
damn.
crazy. Like dog, that show was insane. Like I could write a book on fucking.
Oh
I mean,
my
honestly,
God.
all these shows, but they're all different in their own way.
When you say like the toxic and the drama, like I don't know, give me like an example of just something you're just like, man, this is really bringing me down. This is a crazy situation.
Oh God, like where do I start? Um, for an example, I'm like trying to decide if I want to talk about it, or not, but for an example, okay, so there was a situation where a new cast member had someone had DM'd a couple producers and one of the seasoned cast members on the show. DM them, some person from this new cast member's hometown DMs producers and cast on the show and was just like, this girl has an STD, this girl has a blah blah blah. Like, and they took that and threw it in scene. Yes, threw it in scene. And I'm like, what the fuck? To the point where like they're calling this girl out about this shit in scene. And it was just like she starts bawling, and it
Oh.
was crazy because
Oh my
I feel like that's when I
God.
really saw how um disconnected people were from humanity. Because
Totally.
I'm like, at some point there has to be a line drawn where it's just like, okay, like maybe this isn't right. And I mean, it was crazy because even when she started crying, nobody. I immediately got up. I don't even really at this point. I don't really know her like that, but I got up and like was trying to like console her and help her, and everybody was just like, whatever. It's like Tuesday, you know. And I remember after that scene, I fucking
Oh
I
my
went outside.
God.
The energy in that room was just so fucking thick by the end of it. I went outside just to breathe. And I remember one of the producers was outside already smoking a cigarette. And I just looked at him and he could see it on my face. And he literally shook his head and he was like, I can't do this anymore. One of the producers. And I was just like, dog, like honestly, like I don't think I can either. Like it was just that was like towards like
Wow.
the like latter seasons. But it's just crazy to me because again, like how intense filming that show was. Um, it's crazy because even today, like I filmed that show like almost 8 years ago, and it's just like even today, people still like. And I was only there for a hot second. I came in season 5 of that show. Now I was there for like 2 seasons, and it was just like even today, people still remember this shit. And I'm like, how? But it was impactful in some way. But at the same time, I'm like, yeah, it that that era of my life, like it was short lived.
Jeez. Yeah.
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 God.
Yeah. That does not sound like sustainable.
Yeah. No,
No.
some people stayed in it for a long time. I could not.
A
Like,
lack of humanity. That yeah,
yeah.
that
Yeah.
describes it.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's why I say like I'm grateful for the experience. Because it wasn't the whole time it wasn't like that, you know. I feel like I had a lot of good times on there, but like I say, like I'm all about environment. Like what does your everyday feel like, you know? And does it feel good? You know, and honestly, like I got to the point where it didn't feel good anymore.
Mm.
And that was literally it. I was like, all right, I'm going back to LA. And that's when LA was just like, it was like the beacon of light where I'm like, I'm gonna go to LA. And we started Enigma. And yeah, y'all taking me down like memory lane.
Well, and then so when you filmed How Far Is Tattoo Far, was that in LA?
No, it was in New York too.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
went back there for that.
Yeah, that was easy. It's like you film for 2 months. Uh, well, we did 2 seasons. One season was 30 days. The other season was 2 months. And you're put up in a hotel. Everybody's put up in the same hotel. It was that show was fun as fuck. I'm not gonna lie, like that show was fun as hell. Whereas like you get cast and like everybody's just having fun. Like they shows like that. Like, I feel like you can do whatever you want. Like people are at your beck and call. Like whatever you want, whatever you need is there. And then you get to have fun. Like people come on the show to get some crazy tattoos, and it's just like it's like you just want to do some good, fun, viral worthy tattoos.
What's the
And
craziest tattoo you did on that show?
uh, why are y'all doing this to me? That I did. Shit. God. Um.
Man,
I don't want to talk about the crazy one. I actually felt horrible about it after. I felt horrible where I had to disconnect. I had to like take time away and just like, but it was like a little devil baby this guy got on his crotch. it
Was it
was it,
like on his
it
penis?
it was coming out of his, like if he had underwear on, it would be
Uh-huh.
coming out of his underwear, like
Got
between his
it.
belly button and his like, yeah.
Just yeah.
bro, and that dude goes to the beach.
Yeah. It
Get
was
out.
yeah, that episode actually got intense, but other than that, everything was pretty lighthearted. It
A
was just
devil
like,
baby. Was
yeah.
it like a realistic or what
I
kind
mean,
of devil
you only get
baby?
like a little, you only get like a couple hours to do it, but
Yeah.
I just, just something simple. But it was
Yeah.
just the fact that like the story behind it was really dark, and I'm like, okay, I don't.
Oh
And
my
when we
God.
first opened, this girl texted and she was like, "Hey, I want a cover up done on my back tattoo." And we were like, "Oh, I'll send over the picture." And she was on that show. I think there's another show that's like has a similar premise, but
She had a bra tattooed on her back.
no, it was like an entire back piece. I forget what it was, but I was like, "Yo,
She was on this show.
yeah."
Oh,
I
okay.
was
Oh
like,
my
"Yo, we
god.
can't cover that."
Yeah.
But it was whack. I forget exactly what it was, but
Yeah. No, it was crazy because people go on that show literally for like, it's like people go on the show just to like do some like crazy shit. People do crazy shit all the time. I feel like if you ever worked in a street shop, people come in and get crazy tattoos all the time, whatever. And that was like the premise of the show. And at the same time, like people will come back and like, oh, can you cover this? Like, no, I'm not gonna cover it. You can go somewhere else and cover it. Like, but a lot of people like it was like their like badge of honor. It was just like I was on MTV. Like I got to
Yeah.
meet Snooki.
yeah.
I mean, it was cool. I mean, again, like we were actually supposed to film season 3, March 2020. We were set. I mean, plane tickets were bought to film season 3, March 2020, and the world shut down.
Yeah.
And then that was the end of How Far Is Tattoo Far.
And that was the last reality show you did?
No, the last one I did was Black Ink LA.
Oh,
It
okay.
aired last summer. Yeah.
Gotcha.
hmm
How was that filming experience?
Oh, that was beautiful. That
Oh, good.
experience was beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. At that point, all the toxicity had left.
The different producers and stuff.
Super different producers. Like it was very much about like positivity and light. Like I got to tattoo around people who I actually knew. I wasn't cast on the show. Like it was a show about our shop.
Wow.
So it
was
cool.
Shine on that one?
Who?
Shine?
He was on Black in Chicago, which there were 3. It was New York, Chicago, and LA.
Okay.
He was on Chicago for a little bit, but he left for the same reasons. He was on it when it was toxic, same as me.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you continually doing that show now? Like, are you gonna go back anytime soon?
Right now it's actually on a hiatus because it was the VH1 was bought out by a different network, so they're going through a bunch of shit right now. But honestly, I like doing TV. Like it's fun. I mean, given the right circumstances, fun. You learn a lot. I feel like you can be impactful. But honestly, like if I had it my way, I'm like I want to do something like streaming. I feel like people don't watch like fucking cable network anymore. So I would love to. I mean, right now it's up in the air. You never know. You just go through life until they call you again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you're not actively like reaching out to anyone right now? Like,
Nah.
is there a show you would want to be on? Like, if you could be on any show on TV, what would it be?
An existing one? Because there's
Yeah.
2 ways to answer that question. If I could be on any show, it would be my own.
Yeah.
It'll be my
Yeah.
own. But
Love
an,
that.
an existing show, honestly, I want to go back on Ink Master. I'm not gonna lie. Like I will want to do Ink Master in a way where I didn't get the opportunity to do it the last time. Where it's like, okay, Kevin, like actually compete. I feel like I was
Yeah.
like, I feel like I was a good tattooer and I went far on there, but I'm like, I was very new to the world, and I feel like I would want to go in there and compete now, especially too with the newer judges
Yes.
and all that. Yeah.
I think you should.
And I feel like that reality TV experience is valuable too. Just being
Yeah.
used to the filming environment and, the drama and that
Yeah.
can come with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, stir some shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make some good TV.
I don't know. From what I've heard about Ink Master now, I feel like, well, I guess on your season, everybody knew each other, but all the drama was like not real,
Yeah.
like we're, oh, well,
Was
yeah,
it?
there was some that was real, but like where Katie tries to fight Gian.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
my season.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's that. Yeah, there's some that's crazy. But when you're somewhere in, when you're stuck with people for 2 months, things really do get heated,
Yeah.
you
Yeah. And
know?
when you're talking about my art, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you.
Some people took things really seriously. I know for me, I was like, being down, I was down at the bottom like half the time. And I'm like, whatever, this is fun. I'm not taking it personally. But there are
Mhm.
some people who were like out to get you and took that shit like real and was
Oh,
nasty, like
yeah.
got nasty.
Yeah. Yeah. Who you telling? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my whole experience on that fucking show.
Ugh.
But um, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think it makes for good TV.
Yeah,
I feel like at the end of the day, you can come back and
totally.
be friends, and you can look back on those times and be like, "Fuck!" Like we had a. I can't even watch our season anymore. Like I literally get like sweaty palms. I get triggered by season 8. I do. I do.
I get triggered just watching Ink
Yeah, she
Master. Yeah.
couldn't watch season 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't watch. I can't watch our
I'm
season
there
8
like
master.
ripping all my nails off while I'm watching.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. Well,
So what are you doing now, and what's next?
Well, I have a color portrait seminar hosted by Eden.
By the time this comes out, it'll have
Okay.
already happened. It went super good, guys.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it went so good.
Kevin crushed it.
I had a color portrait seminar. No, honestly, this year is all about manifestation. I am doing a lot of traveling. I'm doing a lot of guest spots and conventions and all that. Um, and ultimately, I plan to open my shop here in Dallas, Texas, in 2025. Yeah. So that's all I have like right now, like laser focused to that. Everything is about uh the shop and the utmost intention.
wow.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you in
Ah,
the new
thank
shop
you.
and the people that you're gonna attract and bring. You are what you attract, and you're gonna get some really good
I
artists and
appreciate that.
people in there.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ripping pages out of y'all's book. I love it.
Yeah. So as far as like the actual stuff that you tattoo, are you still tattooing like mostly color realism?
And it's funny because I don't get an opportunity to to tattoo color realism as much as I'd like. Um, I feel like when it comes to conventions, I've only ever done color realism at conventions, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at home, I tattoo a lot of black and gray, just because most of my clientele is black. Black people come in different shades, but for the
Mm.
most part, it's gonna be black and gray, or like I do red roses and stuff, so I'll do like reds, but
Is that because like that's what they ask for?
well, I mean, in my mind, I'm like, it's what is allowed. Like, I can't do like a fucking like color portrait of. I mean, honestly, most color portraits on someone like my color, like you know what I mean. Where it's like I'm I'm not gonna do it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what ultimately will heal the best, will look the best. I mean, I get color portraits here and there at home, but but in terms of like going to like compete, it's always like, all right, like I have to have someone come in and like um I will find someone who's gonna allow me to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
that's really my relationship with color realism. I don't
Yeah.
get to do a
Totally.
lot,
Yeah.
but when I
Yeah.
do it, it's for like a purpose.
Mm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Well, I'm just curious too, like if there was a color portrait that could be done on darker skin, what about having like a black and gray foundation and then applying color on top? So like if the color doesn't
Mm,
heal a certain way, you still have like a
I know what you
good
mean. Yeah.
base.
So I've never approached a color portrait in that way.
Uh-huh.
I may have to do some fake skin or something and see what that would look like.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
um, yeah, I wouldn't be opposed. I mean, I've done color portraits on black people before. They'll just be very fair skinned,
Yeah.
which it heals really good or whatever. But um, typically they're asking for black and gray. My clientele's asking for black and gray.
Mm.
Um, so I don't know. I mean, maybe, but someone my complexion,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing a color portrait. I'm not even gonna set myself up. Like no,
Mm.
but
Um. So you said your clientele is mostly black.
yeah, for sure. I think I would say maybe like 70-30. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome. Do you think that's because you're black or because you just have a large portfolio on
No,
darker skin?
100%. I think with my clientele, one thing that's very important is finding an artist who understands tattooing on darker toned skin, because a lot of people don't.
Yeah.
And I think that's one thing that I pride myself on is knowing that I don't have to like fucking scar anybody to get dark tones on darker toned skin.
Yeah.
You approach it the same way. It's just which tones you go. I'm not gonna hit my lightest tone on someone darker when I know that when it heals, it's not gonna be there.
Yeah.
You bump up the contrast. You put rich blacks and stuff like that. So I feel like just over time you accumulate all this information, and people see it. Like when you're out, I feel like word of mouth is always the best point of reference. People see it's like, fuck, like you look like me and you have really good tattoos. Who did it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
over time, people are just like, okay, I want to go with someone who is familiar with me and my skin tone.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. People have horror stories. I have horror stories. But
Yeah. Well, and I feel like I feel like a lot of tattooers who don't tattoo darker skin or don't do it as much, like a lot of them say, well, I don't get as many inquiries with, from people of color. But I feel like it's almost kind of like a chicken or egg situation. Cause like, if you never do it, then like people aren't going to be comfortable asking for it.
right.
So how would you recommend to kind of like bridge that gap? Cause I think it's so important.
Yeah, it is really important. And it's the same way. It's just opposite. Like how I just said, when I want to execute a certain style, whether it be color realism, whatever, I will call someone in and say, I'll give you a discount, I'll do it for free, whatever, just to give me this practice. Where's my phone going off? I'm sorry. But just to give me this practice, and I feel like if you really want to learn how to do it, the only way to do it is to fucking do it.
Yeah.
Call someone in, see what you can do. Try your best,
Yeah.
and it just goes from there. And after a while, you will have accumulated a brand new clientele.
Yeah.
But also too, like in my mind, and I feel like this is a very hot topic right now. In my mind, I'm like, if you're not comfortable with doing it, don't do it. Because I've also seen horror stories where people will just say like, I don't know how, but I'm just gonna fucking do it because this client is here and I want to get this money. And it's just like, don't do that, because a lot of people. I see people like scarring people. Like a lot of people do like things too small, where it's like the detail just muddles up, or it's just I'm just I'm just like, try it in a way where you actually want to learn. Like don't just do it for the money.
Yeah.
But no, like I said, it's a huge part of my clientele. I love tattooing, big, rich, super contrasty tattoos, but I also love doing color. So yeah, I just figured it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Well, and I feel like, the other part of it is you can have good intentions and you don't want to turn people away because of the color of their skin, but it's also tough if you haven't had like so much experience, because you want to do a good tattoo on them, obviously, too.
It's all about honesty. I tell people, I'm like, I would rather you just tell me, hey, I don't have this much experience in this. I mean, I can approach it if you want me to, to the best of my ability, but just be upfront and honest. Like,
Yeah.
you don't have to lie. Like, that's
Yeah.
that's really it. Just give people the information and let them do with it what they want, Because to me, it's the same thing. Like, if I don't know, if someone comes to me for, whatever I'm not comfortable with, like, either I'm going to turn you away or I'm going to tell you, like, hey, I don't have a lot of experience in this. I can approach it how I would approach it, and if you want me to do it, then yeah, then here we go. But I'm not going to, like, let you come in here blind,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just about being honest.
I feel like there are a lot of, well, and I feel like just the way the tattoo industry is now too, I feel like there are resources out there, and if there aren't like exact resources, then there are definitely people you can ask as far as like, hey, how would I approach this? Even if it's not somebody in your shop, I feel like a lot of people, if you just like reach out to them.
Yeah,
they'll
and
be down to
honestly,
share.
even at the symposium, people were asking me specifically about how to approach tattooing darker tone skin. Like, and I always tell people, for me, I'm the type where everything is like muscle memory. I'm a creature of habit. Like, I do the same setup, my black and gray drop system for everybody, but you go from darkest to lightest, depending on how dark someone is how far or not far I go to that other side of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I have to know what tones I'm dipping into always. And over time, you can look at someone's skin tone and know about how much you'll need,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
everybody's so different. There's so many different skin tones, whatever. So I just feel like consistency is key. And honestly, like I feel like we talked about this. Like one day I'll probably do a seminar or fucking lecture about tattoo and darker tone skin for people who want to know. I think that it is important for the people who actually want to know to get the information, especially now when we're in a world of inclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like it's just about asking. Like if you don't know, ask. It's okay to ask. If I appreciate people asking, it's like, oh, okay, like you actually want the information.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To help other people,
Will you touch on it in your seminar coming up?
Yeah, I could. I mean, I'm doing a color portrait seminars. I mean, I could. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe we'll split those. Maybe we'll do 2 seminars.
Yeah. Well, that'd be great. So I mean, you kind of mentioned some tips, but you said up the contrast. Do you have any other recommendations for how to approach darker skin tattoos?
I always say, if you're able to go a little bit bigger to let things breathe. You know what I mean? Like I feel like having open skin is just as important as having rich blacks. You know what I mean? Like I bump up the contrast on everything. Like I want you to be able to see it from a mile away. Like I like things to be bold. You can, no matter what your skin tone, because I feel like I'm darker complected. Like even for me, I'm like I want you to be able to see my shit from across the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to get too intense with. I mean, you can get detailed, but like I feel like there's certain details. You don't. It's not the most important thing. There's certain things to pay attention to, and I feel like for me, it's all about your references. Like I try to choose references that make sense. Like even when people are coming with like their family members, they're like, "Oh, I want this picture," and I always ask, I'm like, "Give me all the pictures."
Yeah.
Give me all the pictures. Like, and they're like, "Oh, okay," and they'll have like 10 times better photos. I'm like, yes, thank God. Like ask people for different references. I feel like a lot of times people give you the like straight on with the flash, no depth,
in the car with the filter.
literally. I'm like, friend, and like the next photo will be like little like glamour shots, perfect light and everything. I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do that one.
Yeah.
And honestly, like I and that's the thing. I feel like everybody can get a good dynamic tattoo. It's just a matter of how it's executed. That's literally it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Contrast.
Yeah. And then as far as like building a portfolio with darker skin, you'd recommend doing like free or discounted tattoos if you need to.
Yeah, I think that's how you do anything.
Totally.
That's how you do anything. Free or discounted tattoos is just like the payment there is the knowledge. The payment there is the experience. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The opportunity. So it was just like you have to just kind of tweak how you look at it. I literally to this day I do free and discounted tattoos all the time. And what's crazy is those are like the tattoos I'm probably most excited about.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you take money out of it and you're literally solely doing it for the passion, it's just like, oh, you're going to perform.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I highly recommend in any facet, whatever you're trying to do, if it's darker tone skin, if it's color realism, if it's black and gray, if it's neo-trad, if it's traditional, whatever it is, free, discounted. Somebody's gonna come in there and give you their skin.
Well, it's an investment too, because if you do a free tattoo or if let's say you've never done a color realism portrait, odds are probably nobody's going to ask you for a color realism portrait. But if you do one in your portfolio, even for whatever $500 for free, if 3 people ask you for a color realism tattoo and then you do that on them, that's a net positive. You made money off that free tattoo.
That's why Andrew has the first 5 because it was like
yeah,
he kept coming back, tweak it. Yeah, I'm like, you have to show people what you can do. I think we all know as tattooers at this point, you're only gonna get booked for what you post.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's like if I start posting nothing but anime, that's what's gonna start coming my way. You know what I'm saying? If I start posting nothing but whatever it is, that's what's gonna start coming your way. So I tell people, whatever it is that you want to do, if it's something like way different than what you're currently doing, it may have to be free. And once you post it, you'll start getting paying clientele.
Well, this is kind of a hot topic now too, but fuck it, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
Like a lot of people have been saying, like, oh, the industry's like slower right now. Like a lot of tattoo artists are slower. So first of all, have you experienced that, or maybe not as much? Because I know you travel around, and I feel like your clientele is like from all over.
Yeah, I have experienced it. It's actually crazy. The last 2 years, I think we all are aware that the slow season for a tattooer are like, the
Kind of
holiday
around the
months.
holidays, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Generally, in my career, I would not experience it, but the last 2 years, I experienced it traumatically. Where I'm like, what the fuck is going on? You know. But I think that it's an opportunity to do two things. You can either, well, three things. You can either sit at home and do nothing and pout about it. You can go home and create whatever that is, whether it be music, whether it be painting, whether it be
Fashion.
whatever it is, another facet that you've been interested in but haven't had the time to articulate. Or you can get creative in your ways of attracting people. So for me, that's my thing. Like the first time I had the slow season, I was like, fuck. And I was just like kind of shell shocked. And I was just like, didn't really do anything. I'm like, okay, someone's going to hit me up for something at some point. Um, and eventually, you come out of it and it happens. But this last slow season, this past year, I experienced it again. I'm like, what the fuck? And it may be the economy, whatever it is, tattooing is
Relentless.
relentless. Yeah, I feel like if a tattoo artist, if the industry can get through COVID, we can get through anything. You know what I mean? So slow season, recession, whatever.
Yeah.
And for me this time was just like, all right, like if it's slow, how do you? Because not only was it slow, but I was also transitioning. I was moving away from the place I've been for 7 years. So for me, I was like, okay, people weren't booking in Dallas when I first moved, but I'm like, how do you figure out a way to make people book? And one thing for me specifically is just like travel dates. Like when someone knows that you're there for a limited amount of time, people are more inclined to book with you. They probably won't even think about it. So I always tell people, I'm like, if you can travel. Even if you go and like you don't book anything that first trip, people at least understand you have a presence in this
Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they may be looking for you the next time. Like, oh fuck, you were here and I missed you. Next time you come, I will book with you. You just have to travel. Like, and that's a huge part of conventions is going, talking to people. You know what I mean? Like hanging out, like meeting people because you may meet someone from a city that you may one day want to visit. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
they may be like I'm going to visit John Nelson, and I met him at a convention, and we just talked, and we liked each other. It was like cool. It was like yeah, come visit. And then you post it, and people want to come. So for me, it's just posting travel dates, and like not only do you get to network and hang out with your friends, but you also get to create a new clientele in a space that you otherwise wouldn't have had.
And I feel like another part of that too is if you're going to shops, especially like reputable ones or like people who have a big presence, like when she guest spotted at John Nelson's shop, like a lot of his followers that didn't know about Deanna or maybe didn't follow her were like introduced to her work, too. So then you're also like having a lot more people like find out about you if you're like not even straight up like collaborating with people on Instagram, but like if other shops are posting about you or if other
Yeah.
artists are posting about you, like that's just another way to get your name out there.
This is going to be the new normal. And it's funny because I was actually talking to Ryan about this too.
Ryan too.
Yeah,
She
Ryan, we talked about it too, where it's just like, there's no reason why, because I feel like in the industry, I feel like the industry norm is just like, I mean, for years has been, you're on top over here, you're on top over here. It's just like everybody can be on top. People can aspire to be on top. And I feel like it's always nice to know that like your favorite tattooers are actually friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And for me, I'm like, I love that. Like, if my followers didn't know who you were and your followers didn't know who I was, why not? Like, let's collaborate on something. Even if it's just a guest spot, a podcast, a fucking convention, whatever.
Well, and especially like a lot more people travel for tattoos, especially when you get to a certain level. But a lot of it's geography related. If you're in Texas and John Nelson's in Florida, if you first of all you guys have way different styles, but even if you did the same style, like he's got his clients over there doing his thing, and you're gonna have your clients over here in Texas doing their thing.
Yeah.
And also like people can get tattooed by more than one artist. Like I feel like it doesn't have to be like a competition, especially like among like the top tier artists. And I honestly, I feel like most of the artists that are like at the top of the industry like are not really competitive in that way. They're like super friendly.
Yes.
It's like music. Like, you think about music, it's just like your favorite. Like, you don't just listen to one artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We listen to an array of people in different styles, different genres, and I mean, maybe somewhere in competition, it's ego shit, but in real life, there's no reason to be.
Totally.
Because I don't have to just listen to you. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. I'm like, there's space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
Period.
anything, I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about the way music works, like if you like one artist, it can turn you on to another artist. You know, you're listening
Yes.
to
Yeah.
whatever, and somebody's like, "Oh, dude, yeah, this band's dope. You should also check out this band. They do a similar style." It could be the same way with tattooing.
Yeah.
You know, like,
and then you
oh,
hear
shit.
and then you hear that they have a song together, like Ryan in Indiana.
Yeah.
No, it's cool. Like I love this shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like I love this shit, especially now. I think I haven't been this excited about the industry in a very, very long time. And I think now just because I have my hand in it, and I think now we have the power to really change and shift things in the right direction. Because I feel like we both had our own stories of how the industry kind of fucked us or played us or made us feel less than, and now I feel like the tables have turned where it's just like, okay, now we can kind of do what we want with it. You know what I mean? And I'm just really, really excited for that, for the mindset, like what we're talking about right now. Like I feel like this is a concept that shouldn't be new, but I feel like it's relatively new, but I love it though. It's cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, shout out to you for all being part of that positive change, because it's like Dana was saying at the beginning, like since the beginning of her career, you've been nothing but positive, helpful, friendly, willing to share that knowledge. So that's you're a huge part of it, man. Absolutely.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Y'all too, if you needed that confirmation.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Anything else you want to talk about?
Is there anything you want to talk
Like I
about?
feel like we hit a lot. Y'all didn't make me cry. So
Okay, now we just got to start being mean to you. You suck.
last tattoo you did.
Yeah, why no black outline?
God, that would give us both PTSD.
Yeah. No, I love that clip, the way you answered it too. You're like, I'm a realism artist. Why would I put a black outline?
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
People are crazy.
Anyway, fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess that's a wrap on this episode. Man, talking is hard. Good luck at your seminar. But that's a wrap on this episode, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.